I've been waiting to cast this series for, like, forever. If our German player expects to advance in the Intel Extreme Masters, he'll first have to get past our Protoss player. It's something he has to do! That opening pylon placement always looks a little bit strange on the map Zen. Also strange is our Zerg player. He's an article, an adjective, and a pronoun all in one. He is the Little One! Yes, it's true. I've been reduced to grammar jokes. Let's see if it's also true that we have the standard timing on that gateway for Haas. There it is. And will it be a gate and go? Yes, it is. Also standard timings on that natural hatch for our Zerg player. It's a very short rush distance on Zen. Haas's scout will be here in almost no time at all. He just has to follow that yellow brick road. He's off to see the wizard. The little Wizard of Oz. I know, every time I try to sing a kitten dies. There's Zerg's extractor, where's our pool? Here comes that scout. Where's that pool? Something was off there, TLO was waiting for minerals. Haas's probe slips into the main as TLO plants that pool. Oh, and it's a pylon. There's no sign of a force, so this is a big fakerino out of Haas. Oh, great reaction by TLO. His drone blocks off the optimal position for the second pylon. Had this been a real cannon rush, that would have been a huge problem for Haas. Is Haas actually going to let that pylon finish? I think so, because he's calling it super... Oh, no, these guys love to fake me out. I bet if we watch the replay, we see that he cancels it at the last millisecond. That takes so much practice. You just don't get that sense of timing until Cannon Rush 1 million. Haas, who has started his own Nexus Cyber Core and Second Gas, was voted Protoss player most likely to have done 1 million Cannon Rushes in his high school yearbook. TLO's natural is going to complete just fractionally before his spawning pool. There's the splash of steel. And then I assume it'll be double queens, but let's see how many lings he chooses to throw in with this. 1 queen, 2 queens, and no lings. He's starting ling speed though. We've seen TLO go lingless with speed before on this channel. Haas, on the other hand, is chrono boosting an adept. Adepts can be really effective on Zen just because of that short rest distance. With that shade, it's like they've popped over to their neighbors for a cup of sugar. Meanwhile, Haas's probe is in position to deny that third. Here comes that drone, soon to be reeking of disappointment. His first big assignment of life ends in frustration. He's going to decide to cope by venting his frustrations on that probe. Haas is going to pop a pylon and leave. Fortunately, TLO has made some lings. He's going to need them to help tear down that pylon. He's losing precious time on that third. The queen's going to join the cause. Oh, but while the wrecking crew's at work, the adept's going to show up. Well, this is a nasty little early game setup by Haas. He cancels the pylon and goes sport hunting. TLO morphs a drone into extractor to save it, but Haas slays a ling and gets the first blood. And back at the old Toss Ranch, there's a Stargate in the making, by the way. Zerg's Overlord is not going to miss that, even though his minimap is screaming for his attention at his would-be third. Oh, it's not an Oracle, it's going to be Phoenix first. Oh, it's a bad day to be a scouting Overlord. TLO's waiting for speed to finish so he can deal with that Adept. He didn't risk sending his Queen, and that means he's going to lose even more time on that third. He decides to play it safe, and now he has the upgrade he needs to deal with that Adept once and for all. Hatch goes down. Oh, but the Adept is still there. He made his way into a mineral nook. It's going to be costly for lings to get him out of there. Their surface area has been denied. A Queen could dislodge him, but TLO refuses to get pulled out of position. All told, that Adept claims the lives of 3 Zerglings, and Haas is about to get his first Overlord. He's also about to finish Warp Gate research, but he's only got 1 gate so far. Oh, he just made a second. Hold that thought, lings are getting aggressive. Hold that thought, we've got a second Stargate being added. It's a door challenge. Haas has got a Stalker as his door guard. TLO's gonna try to brute force it. Haas is gonna try to reinforce with an Adept. That Stalker's getting kills, but it's going down. TLO's streaming fresh lings. Haas's Oracle finishes, it's coming to the rescue. Oh, the Phoenix saves the Stalker with a defensive lift. But that lets Zerg inside. Is he gonna see the second Stargate? No, it's canceled. He did not see it. Repeat. Zerg did not see the second gate. But since he sort of forced the cancel, maybe that's just as good. TLO's now going to be worried there's like a proxy robo or something. With only 2 gateways and no tech, where's he put his money? Maybe he's just like really bad. Or maybe he's putting his money into this juicy third with nothing to defend it. TLO continues to stream lings. He's actually finished an early Evo chamber and he started +1 attack. He's going for another door challenge. It's another defensive lift. Only this time there's a warp in to complete the block. Kids, don't try this at home unless you've got some serious APM. Block your doors with actual units. Haz has restarted that second Stargate, by the way. Correction, he's tripled down and is going for 3 Stargates. TLO's making a Baneling nest. And he's got a safety spore in his main and he's working on a second. But I really want to know what Haz is going to pump out of those gates. Is that third actually going to go up unchallenged? Protoss is going to pop a shield battery behind it to increase its chances of survival. He's going to need to be able to defend his home front if he's going to do some kind of air rush. Oh, he's adding a forge. That's kind of an odd spot. He didn't put it behind his wall. Hold it. There's our lair timing for our Zerg player. TLO's got to be happy. He's about to hit 50 drones and he's teching nicely. But will he be ready for this air assault? And finally, we can find out what Haz intends to produce out of his Stargates. It's going to be Phoenix 3 at a time with Chrono Boost. This definitely calls to mind the game between Hurricane and Cyril that I posted last week. Protoss players have rediscovered how powerful Mass Phoenix is against Zerg. Oh, it's another Ling stream. TLO's looking to line this up with his +1 attack upgrade. It's not a lot of Lings, but Haz's money's all tied up in Phoenix production. He's got 2 Adepts and 1 Oracle available to defend the third, but there's 7 Banelings in production on Haz's doorstep. The initial attack is a feint to try to draw him out. Haz doesn't take the bait. He leaves his guards at home. TLO tests the mineral ramp but finds its Sim City blocked. He might try to tear down that pylon, but he's gonna have to eat adept shots all day long. Oh, Lings are going for that exposed third instead. That shield battery's not long for this world. The Banelings took out a pair of pylons, but they didn't get the supply block. They might just have to settle for tearing down a Nexus. No, he wants probes more. A massive fleet of 9 Phoenixes head out for the Zerg base. But now Haz has to defend his home front on a shoestring budget. TLO really wants to bust inside. Wrong again, Zugzwang. He's after the core. TLO's only got 3 spores, but he's about to add 4 more. Otherwise, 6 queens over 3 bases is just not enough. Haz is going to test the defense at the third. He sees the double spore and decides to try for a better target. Oh, for shame, I just missed a Nexus takedown. Maybe that core can be my consolation prize. Haz is trying to use oracles for his Ling defense. And he's finding TLO's 7 spores are making it hard for him to snag drones. The attack has kind of fallen flat. Oh, he's gonna snare a 4th, and he did force TLO to spend a lot on defense. But TLO's offense has been super cheap and super successful. Yeah, that third's not going back up. That was overly ambitious. Oh, and Zerg gets a surround on the Adepts. That's huge. Haz is only just starting to remake his core in his main now. He prioritized the Nexus over the core, and he's gonna try it again. Floodlings all over the natural. TLO's drone count is increasing while Haz's is falling. I do believe we are witnessing the counter to the Mass Phoenix strategy. +1 Speedlings, they're in the main. Haz is forced to pull all his Phoenixes back home to defend. Lifting Lings one at a time is not what he wants to be doing. He's going to use his Oracle energy to try to clean this up. Haz's minerals per minute has dropped to a completely unacceptable level. It's unsustainable. Somehow he has to clean this up yesterday. Oh, terrific micro. He's lifting his probes to save them. Oh, but TLO's just going to keep sending those 25-cent Lings. What are you going to do, my coreless brother? Oh, TLO has started a 4th. Haz is actually starting the attack upgrade on his forge. Now he just needs some units that can actually use it. I'm sure his 1 zealot will appreciate it. Oh, the resources lost really tells the story here. Haz has killed over 100 units, but it's all quarterlings. TLO can donate those all day long, and he's almost finished his spire. Maybe the Zerg plan is to break Haz's wrists. Force him to lift every Ling individually with his Phoenix. Oh, great force fields. Look who's got his core back. Unfortunately, it's going to send TLO after his third, but it was a great move. Also, right about now-ish, it looks to be spire time. Not sure if he's making anything with it just yet. He's using his gas to make a round of Banes. Ah, he's going after the Sim City block on the mineral ramp, and after that third again. Somehow Haz managed to claw his drone count back up to over 40. Nope, the Banes are ready. The Lings pull back to move out of the way. It's slow Bane attack! The pylons and the sentries fall. Lings hit the main unimpeded, and it's GG. Haz has had enough. If you haven't caught a lot of StarCraft games in recent months, you might think this was a simple game here. TLO attacked Haz with Speedlings and Haz responded with Phoenixes. Given that they're air units that don't shoot down, that was a pretty suboptimal choice, and the outcome was inevitable. But what you would have missed is that Mass Phoenix has been taking the boots to Zerg, at least when they successfully surprise their opponents. They tank that queen damage and chew up drones until Zerg's got nothing left. The obvious counter for Phoenix is spores. They have a DPS of 24.4 against air and 400 hit points. But Zerg is accustomed to going light on spores. If you overdo it, you become victim to a ground assault. Imagine if Haz had faked the Phoenix and actually transitioned to Adepts with Glaives, for example. It looked like he was thinking about that at the very end. So, I love that this build is now in the game. TLO made it look easy, and maybe it is, but only if you react correctly to it, which is how we love our Zerg. As Cyril says, reaction is Zerg's soul. So let's move on to...
Game 2.
We're back with our best of 3, so let me start with an obscure piece of StarCraft trivia for you. When your big older brother's gaming avatar is the big one, what's a little brother to do? You name yourself the little one! And that is how it happened. True story. Oh, our Taiwanese Protoss player is scouting after his initial pylon. Is it a proxy? It's something his bag of tricks definitely has! Or it could be just another fake out. His first building is a gateway, not a forge, so we can cross off Cannon Rush. It should, though, let him see the timing on Zerg's natural, enabling him to confirm that so far TLO's build is exactly the same as in the first game. Haz has earned himself such a reputation for early aggression. It means that even if he's playing a macro game, his opponents have to remain on edge at all times. TLO seems to get his extractors up just a couple seconds early, which is why it seems like his pool is a little bit late. It's one of those little things that causes me to get all excited, and it's probably about nothing. What is significant is that Haz is making an early forge. He's either doing a cannon rush with a weird timing, or maybe a timing attack based off a +1 attack. But we better watch that probe like a hawk, and no doubt TLO is as well. He doesn't know about the forge, he just knows he's playing Haz. Sometimes you gotta play the player. There's a single pylon. Red alert! Forge is near completion, this is not a drill! Haz faked this last game, but this time he means it. The probe seals himself in with 2 more pylons. Forge is done. TLO's pulled 14 of his 18 workers to deal with this. The threat level is appreciated, but he's gonna take a huge economic hit. Haz is mining 5 times as much, but he's spending them on expensive luxury pylons. Gucci pylons. And pylons by Kate Spade. TLO's almost got his pool, there it is. He's gonna skip queens and go right to lings. The 2 cannons are about to warp in. Zerg clears the original pylon and goes to work on the first cannon. Another pylon drops, but Haz replaces it. Cannon is here. There's 10 lings on the way. No spine crawler, though. He's doing this the old-fashioned way. Haz needs drone kills if he's gonna get his money's worth. That's 4 so far. Make it 5. TLO unpowers the cannons. But another pylon warps in and they're back up. First cannon's down. The probe is just chilling, blocking surface area to that cannon. TLO puts his drones back to work. The lings have all the surface area. They have killed that probe, and there goes the cannon. And that concludes the cannon rush portion of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. And now might be the ling counteroffensive. TLO lost 6 drones and 6 lings, but it's Haz who's lost the most resources in the exchange. The real issue is the lost mining time, and I don't have a graphic that calculates that for us. Haz is up 6 workers. 6 lings is the sum total of TLO's army. He is a Zerg without a queen. You don't see that very often. Oh, there's a pullback. Oh, he got vision of the door with his overlord. He doesn't think he has enough to take down that adept door guard. Speaking of vision, Haz still has a pylon in Zerg's base. We wouldn't expect that to be long for this world, though. Haz is going Stargate first again, by the way. It certainly wasn't a winner for him last game, but maybe he thinks this time he's far enough ahead. The last Gucci pylon is not long for this world. Goodbye, designer crystal. But that designer crystal lets him know where TLO's lings are. It's given him the confidence to pull his door guard and go for an attack with 2 adepts. He also knows that ling speed is still a long ways off. Let's see if that now destroyed pylon winds up having a significant effect on this game. TLO does have 2 queens in production now. He's absolutely going to need them to help defend this. Here's the shade in. The lings pick it up. It's not fake news. The adepts solidify, and they kill 2 drones. Haz is trying to kite the lings. He's got the firepower to do it, but does he have the space? TLO pulls back. He's trying to get his queen on board. Haz pounces and 2 more drones die. Make it 5, and this is starting to get serious. The queen is here. Drones are pulled, but the adepts are in pursuit. The safety shade heads out. The adepts are super low. The Lings kill the first. Will the second shade out? Yes! The Adept escapes with 4 kills on her. Her partner had 3. Speed's finally going to finish for the Zerg, and he's going to start a Baneling nest. For Haas, it's a Twilight Council. He's built a single Phoenix out of that Stargate. TLO knows he's now behind. He's going to look to see if he can get something done with his Lings. But they don't quite have the speed upgrade yet. Oh, he loses 2 of his 7 Lings. But the Ling speed research is finally done. Haas might be sending those 2 Adepts to attack. It's sort of like a mini base race. Or maybe just call it a simultaneous attack. Those Adepts are going to be able to go at any reinforcing Lings. It looks like TLO wants to marshal his forces before he commits. There is an Adept door guard. TLO's going to challenge. Meanwhile, the Adepts discover there's no Lings at the natural. TLO didn't bother to replace him because he didn't have enough to saturate his main. TLO stopped making drones and he's pumping Lings. He's going to make a big commitment to this. He's going after the core again, just like game 1. Toss is going for that multi-layer wall. 4 Banes in production. The core is going down. Haas is making 2 gateways and a shield battery. There's no replacement core underway. There's the magenta explosion. Haas is building an oracle. Banes are here, but sentry force fields are up. Oh, the Baneling hits are underwhelming. No core for Haas still. He's looking to research Zealot leg speed. He could be looking to counter with Mass Zealot. TLO pulls back, but this is not over. He's still producing just Lings and Banes. Haas is adding a triple layer to his wall with pylons. Haas does have the income advantage. He just might be able to warp in buildings faster than TLO can blow them up. The first 3 Zealots are here. That's going to make the demolition work very hazardous. Oh, but the Banelings are the equalizer. The Zealots are getting cut down. Can the Lings slip inside? Oh, Haas is starting a core now. The Lings have cut their way to the 3rd layer. But they're getting wailed on by that sentry. And TLO sees his offensive has run out of steam. He'd rather try to settle this with a game 3. Kind of a weird game. I think Haas had more buildings than he actually had units. So, looking back here, I'd say the game was really won when Haas's 2 Adept harass got a critical mass of drones and Lings. TLO saw that he was materially behind and made the choice to go all in on a counterattack to try to get back into the game. That gambit failed, and the game was over. The Adepts were abnormally successful because when they hit, Zerg had neither Queens nor Ling speed, 2 key points of defense against Adepts. And TLO didn't because of the economic delay caused by Haas's initial cannon rush. So, what could have gone differently here? Since we've got the bird's eye view and the eternal gift of cheating hindsight, I've got 2 suggestions. Number 1. When TLO's overlord saw that Haas had pulled his door guard, if he had a squad of Lings planted near the Protoss base, sort of outside and to the side, he would have been able to slip his slow Lings in. It would have got cleaned up, but it might have sown enough chaos that he would have bought enough time to get his Queens and speed upgrade. Likely, it was that leftover pylon that really gave Haas comfort that there weren't Lings camped outside his front door. Number 2. If TLO had defended the cannon rush with 1 or 2 spine crawlers instead of mass Lings, those spines would have been available when the Adepts came a-knocking. I think they would have been handy in 2 separate phases of the game. Now, there are downsides to overinvesting in static defense. We see it all the time, so it's hard for me to jump on a Zerg player for that. If you deal with the cannon rush with Lings, you should have a number of Lings available for later phases of the game as well. So let me know what you think. Was this a winnable game for Zerg? Regardless, this was a fun one to watch. We're all tied up here, and it's a best of 3. We're gonna get a winner-takes-all rubber match. You gotta love it.
Game 3.
Let's settle this! 2 lopsided games demands a rubber match, and this is it! It's time to get our answer. It's time to find out. Who's got what it takes? Who has it? A low-ground pylon, that's what he has. And no quick scout to follow. Which is good news for our 3-letter acronym. He is TLO! We've just finished 2 short games of pure aggression. Maybe this is the one where the players kind of chill out and give us a macro game. Nah, I didn't think so either. Oh, for a second it looked like Haz's probe was gonna go out in proxy. I think he decided to fake me out. Zerg going hatch first for the 3rd time in a row. If we have a longer game, I'll finally get to see Battle Duck. 2 whole toss games and no Battle Duck. 3 in a row would make me a sad, sad cast. Oh, look at that smooth gas timing. The probe drops a gate, delivers a mineral, and then grabs the gas at the second the assimilator opens up. That is polish. Oh, and that is a pool before extractor. It's still hatch first, so it's nothing crazy, but he's getting his pool just a few seconds earlier. I love it. If Haz tries to duplicate his cannon rush, he's gonna find the Lings are there just a little bit too early. Speaking of rushing, I think we just saw Haz's scout sneak out there. Haz is such a sneaky player, he even tries to fake out the observer. He waits until I'm distracted watching him build his nexus at his natural. There's that cyber core, but I want to know what that probe's doing. He's not going up the middle. There's not really such a thing as sideline scouting on Triton. If your scout's on the straight and narrow, you go up the center and you take that watchtower on your way. TLO might be thankful he's got that earlier pool timing. Oh yeah, look at this. This has got proxy written all over it. Haz just waits for his 100 minerals, then hides that pylon. The pool's gonna splash just before the natural's gonna splash. That means the queens get to start instantly, and TLO takes care of it. 2 queens, 2 lings. In TLO's world, 2 lings is considered extra safe. Core is gonna finish for Haz, and we're gonna get some information. The cyber core is the fulcrum for the Protoss tech tree. It's gonna be an adept with chrono boost and a Stargate, a proxied Stargate. Meanwhile, Zerg's going for ling speed. Very helpful against the adept, perhaps not so much against Stargate. But those queens finishing up will be. Remember, the first queen is a smidgen earlier. And as they often say, Starcraft is a game of smidgens. Now that was profound. Hey, where's that inject? Oh, there it is. Nobody likes a larva injection bully. Oh, bad luck for those 2 slow lings. They come in for the scout, but the adept picks them up early. Haz grabs the first blood. And quite possibly the second. Hey, check out the new buzzsaw on the first blood icon. It wasn't tacky enough, so I had to dial it up. But if the sound effect gets in the way, we might have to ditch it. Oh, TLO knows his timings. He's gonna scout for the proxy. He's got the right trajectory. He's gonna see this. There is an oracle in production. I don't think he'll have time to shut the proxy down, but the advance notice is gonna help. Meanwhile, Haz's stalker is gonna clear out the overlord in his own base, while his adept is gonna see the timing on the 3rd. The oracle warps in, there's a phoenix being made behind it. Oh, and the oracle strike is gonna be coordinated with the adept. They're both coming in together. They're going for the natural. Oh, I like this. There's a queen there, but its focus is now split. TLO decides to defend the oracle. That's also the queen's default targeting priority. And then the lings come in to clean up the adept. The 2-pronged attack snares 5 probes. That's bad, but if TLO didn't have that safety spore, it would have been a ton worse. Now Haz is going to punish the scouting overlord with his phoenix, while Zerg's ling claims the pylon. Oh, TLO's looking to retaliate too, but the oracle's going to spot the floodlings. A single stalker is the sum total of Haz's army at home, but it is tucked into the door guard position. TLO's going to try for a door challenge. He knows the phoenix is too far away to save the stalker with a lift. Ling count drops to 5, but the shields are down. Oh, I love that ling carcasses roll downhill. Stalker falls! 4 of the original lings make it in with 2 more to reinforce. Haz warps in a pair of adepts to clean it up. And this is a great scout for TLO. He gets his eyes on Haz's tech investment and kills the probe that built it. Oh, it's a probe mob! Haz with a surround and murders the lings. Do not mess with probes, baby. When it's executed that tight, there's so little lost mining time. Having pulled off the scout, TLO decides he needs a roach warrant. Why? Because he saw Twilight Council researching glaives and a robotics facility. And Zerg didn't see it, but he's probably guessed that it's building a warp prism. And he also knows that Protoss is going up to 4 gates. But what he might not know is that Haz isn't waiting for any of this to finish. He's sending his first 2 adepts now. And they're already sniping lings because those roaches are a ways away. TLO is making a huge wave of lings though to help tide him over. TLO continues to play safe. He's prioritizing units over a drone explosion. The ling horde is here and those adepts need to get out of here. Oh, they're gonna try to hide. TLO actually sees it, but he's smarter than I am. He goes after the shade instead. Oh, but Haz is pumping units too. The adept count is up to 6 now. And not only is Resonating Glaives finishing up, Haas has started a forge to research +1. This is a full-on timing attack. He's backed by a warp prism to reinforce this. TLO's got his roaches now, thank goodness, but he's only just starting roach speed. Here comes the red smear. Real or fake? Resonating Glaives is now finished, but +1 is still a ways away. The shade was fake, but the adepts are going to try to march in anyway. Great positioning by TLO. He tries to invite him in so he can get the surround. Haas is not taking the bait. He keeps running the red smear to see if he can get better positioning. If TLO has an opportunity to crush the Protoss army on creep, he's certainly going to take it. Haas is still being cautious. TLO's roach count is now up to 13 and there's 28 lings behind it. Zerg is comfortable splitting his forces to chase shades. Great discipline by Haas here. He didn't get the opening he wanted, so he's pulling back. He's got too much invested in his adepts to throw them away. Oh, but he might if he accidentally gets sandwiched by Zerg here. Oh, I think he shaded right into the device. He did. TLO slams the door. He's got the surround on the adepts. Their shades on cooldown. Oh, this is a potential game changer. TLO just cleaned out the bulk of Haas's army. Significant supply lead for the Zerg. TLO senses the window. He's going to look to see if he can get something done. There's an Immortal and 3 sentries guarding the door. Also an Oracle, so TLO's going to pivot. Looks like he's going to try that third instead. It's completely unprotected. Haas absolutely has to cancel. He needs that money for units. He does. But I'm sure he would have preferred to have gone on even basis with the Zerg. Now that the roaches are here, TLO wants to try that door again. But there's the Guardian Shield. That's the way to do it. TLO knows he needs Ravager tech if he expects to get through that. He tucks tail and heads home. And the Oracle's going to follow him all the way back. TLO may be on the run, but there's no bones about it. Zerg has the lead right now. I should mention, though, Protoss didn't lose all his adepts. He did stash a few in the warp prism. But the real news story here is that TLO has started a spire. I don't know if he's thinking mutas or he's planning for the late game with Broodlords. A single ling's gonna work on that starport. There's the spire, tucked in right next to the main. Haas is adding in Archons. He's not looking as weak as he did a minute ago. So the real point of that ling there is he's creating an attack flash on his opponent's minimap. It can get super distracting. If Haas could hit a button and self-destruct his starport, believe me, he would. Oh, that Overlord is just missing the warp prism. There's so much going on right now. Haas is rebuilding his third, and he's also sending in his warp prism. He can distract TLO, he can buy some time to try to get even on supply. That could be tough, because we don't see any indication that TLO is going for a fourth. He's just teching and adding to his army. Oh, the adepts are going to shade into the third. But there's a lot of roaches to push that back. Fortunately, there's a beam me up Scotty and Haas gets out of there. Yeah, TLO's hit 38 roaches. He's definitely looking to do some damage here. Immortal Archon is pretty good against roach, but it's not 38 good. Haas seems to sense what's coming. He's moved his army out to protect his third. He's gonna need to micro his death ball pretty hard. Fortunately, Haas is the man to do that. He doesn't have any of that trusty Protoss splash damage yet, though. No Storm, Disruptor, or Colossus. Still no fourth for TLO, just units, units, units. Including 3 lone Mutalisks that are trying to sneak in on the right-hand side. Haas doesn't have any Stalkers or Cannons out there. He does have a hapless Warp Prism in their path, though. The Roaches are here. They're gonna keep that main army very busy. Oh, Mutas are here. Haas is warping in the Stalkers to make me look like a goof. He didn't have those 5 seconds ago, I swear. No significant damage for the Mutas. Oh, are they going back for that Warp Prism? Oh, that Warp Prism warped in a lucky rabbit's foot. Or is Haas trying to use it as bait to draw in the Mutas? Whoa! New plan. TLO's got a new plan. Huge Overlord cloud. And it's mutating ventral sacs. But are they really ventral? Some of those look kind of dorsal to me. Yeah, that's right. I took biology. Oh, is Haas gonna see this? That would be huge. Oh, TLO's mutas are accidentally pulling him right into it. He's got to divert his attention. He sees the roaches. Does he see the sacks? I don't think he saw it. I think he's gunning for the mutas. Haas is at risk of being woefully out of position here. The blimps are away. There are 6 fully loaded with roaches. This is gonna be quite the doom drop. Haas is not pulling back to defend. He's looking to make a push of his own. It's too early to say, but this could have some base race potential. There's the drop! If Haas didn't know about it before, he knows it now. And TLO's first target is going to be Battle Duck! No! Not Battle Duck, you fiend! It wasn't researching Storm! It was innocent! Haas is not pulling back to defend, though. He's going for his own attack. TLO has left a considerable amount of roaches to defend, though. Haas with the sentry split. Oh, he microed that perfectly. There's a lot of DPS in that Protoss army. A lot of bonus against armor. Haas might be in composition heaven here. And he's going to need it, because he's not going to be able to build another army after TLO rips up his production lines. Clever, TLO's pulling his drones to try to create a sandwich on the Protoss army. Haas jumps over to try to attack the fourth and finds there isn't one. He's turning around and going for the undefended natural. Haas has been officially supply blocked, though as soon as I say that a bunch of his units died, he becomes unblocked. I guess that's one way to take care of it. Both sides are about to officially murder each other's natural. I think I'm officially allowed to call this a base race now. I think to be official, you're supposed to be, like, completely unopposed, and that's not quite the case, but it's pretty close. They're also even on army size. This has worked out far, far better for Haas than I thought it would. As I say this, he's actually taken a supply lead. Haas has reached TLO's tech. He's murdering those defenseless drones. TLO has stopped mining entirely. He needs to rescue those drones for rebuilding. Haas has used his income advantage to warp in additional stalkers at home. TLO's roach count has officially become finite. And just like that, Haas is leading in every single category, including the all-important attack upgrade. TLO's tech is wiped out. Oh, Haas has recalled his immortals back home. The roaches are not going to be able to kill that third. TLO still has a third of his own, but there is a big force looking to take it down. TLO decides to focus on the attack. He's going to lose his third. He has to make sure Haas doesn't have one either. But the Immortal Archon is just too much. Here come the reinforcing Ravagers. Is it enough? Haas hits the hardened shields. It's going to be so close. No. No, it will not. Haas wins the game. Haas takes the series. Did I mention we got new victory screens? I mean, who doesn't love dancing units? Okay, I can't credibly analyze this game, as I clearly thought TLO had this. I thought it was over the second his Doom Drop landed. I'm tempted to declare there's a new secret StarCraft curse. If you kill Battle Duck with a drop, you inexplicably lose the game. Or, more likely, I clearly underestimated Protoss' ability to spontaneously get big and warp in tons of units. I think Haas's sentry splits turned the tide of the game here, and his multitasking was just on a higher level. If you hadn't heard, Haas was on a higher level this whole tournament, going much deeper than what his so-called ceiling was previously understood to be. Haas had a lot of fans before. I suspect he has even more now. So let me just say, live life, because nobody wants to die in hold position. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang Starcraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.